Hello everyone! I know this is a really old game at this point, but I just bought and played through A Hat in Time. It took forever, but it was worth it, and I absolutely love the games. So I wanted to make some projects from it, and the first one in this probably series is going to be Hat Kid, using this little Hairdorables doll that I already have prepped. I start by painting over her scalp brown. I think I usually do this after I do the face up, but I just felt like doing this today just to get this large swath of space out of the way. Once I've got a couple layers of that and have sealed it in, I start blushing her face. And actually, I have to confess, I almost forgot to do this. I started sketching out her face, and then I realized, wait, no. Then I can start painting in everything, starting with the eye whites. I usually do 2 to 3 layers, though sometimes on a darker skin tone it'll take more. Then I paint in her actual eye color. For a while I didn't know if I would do pupils or not because I don't usually do them, but this character has them, so I decided to just do a darker fade from the middle. I take a very tiny brush to outline her eyes in black. This is to finish off the eyes. I thought about doing her eyebrows in brown, but on the actual model, they're black, so I just draw a little line. With that, I've completed the face and can move on to her hair now. On previous dolls, I've been way too nervous to straighten out her hair, which usually works well with yarn hair, but I did it this time, and it looks so good like this. I love how shiny and soft it is. So I take the wefts and glue them in a circle around her head, then tie it back with an elastic. Then it's basically done. I just need to cut her bangs. For her little dress, I just take this tunic pattern, modify it a bit, and cut it out of a purple shirt. Then I just sew some snaps onto it, and that piece is basically done. I just need to make an oversized zipper for her, so I cut it out of some cardboard, then cover it with a couple layers of Mod Podge to give it strength. Then I just paint it gray, seal it in with more Mod Podge, and just glue it onto the dress. For her cape, I just traced this simple pattern onto some yellow fabric, then seal the ends in with glue. I tried using fray check on it, but it wouldn't hold as well, so glue was my best option. I put a snap on the little tabs and then glue a button over it. For her pants, I whipped up this pattern. I believe I've done this before, though I can't quite remember on what doll I did it. So I just trace it onto the fabric, cut it out, and then fray check it. The fray check on this fabric actually didn't really work, as when I tried to turn it inside out, the fabric came apart, not quite at the seams, but it was just tearing itself apart. It was very weird, So I did this same process but with a different fabric. After making that second pair of pants, the clothing is done and I can move on to her hat. I use a toilet paper roll that I cut to a certain length and glue it onto some other cardboard to make the top of it. Once the glue is dried and I cut it out, I trace it onto another piece of cardboard, adding 2 to 3 inches onto this circle to be the brim of the hat. I don't glue it to the main part of the hat yet, but I try it onto the doll to see how it'll look. It's a bit oversized, but that's kind of the effect I'm going for. So I measure around the hat and cut a rectangle out of the same purple fabric I used to make the dress, so I can cover this whole thing. I trace a circle around the cardboard tube, then cut it out. I give myself some extra seam allowance here so that's not really tight when I put it over the tube. Once I cut it out, I sew it onto the other part of the fabric tube, then try it onto the cardboard tube. This is the fit I want, so I take my scissors and cut slits into it. This is so it'll make it easier to glue the excess fabric into the hat. I do this because it'll add the extra strength and make sure that that cover isn't coming out. Then I do the exact same thing for the brim of the hat. Once both pieces are complete, I just hot glue them together. For the yellow stripe around the hat, I glued on a piece of ribbon. I thought about using hot glue, but then thought I would get a better hold with Elmer's glue. Now the very last thing, and the thing I don't really record all that well, her shoes. I already have these pre-made shoes, so I just cover up the toe to make it not look like she's wearing socks with sandals. Once the clay's dry, I sand it down and then paint a white base coat over the black parts. I don't entirely think this was necessary, because afterward I just painted over dark brown anyway, so... I do a few more layers after this, but I think you get the... I do a few more layers of brown after this, but I think you get the gist, so she's done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do have another Hat in Time video coming out right after this one because I worked on the other project at the same time, which is probably why this took longer than it needed to. So, bye!